Well, live from the THV 11 studio, we don't want to raise unnecessary fears. However, we're waiting to issue an alert if needed. Severe storms are possible. Meteorologist Tracy Bean explains why you need to be weather aware. Tracy?
All right, and good afternoon. It is Friday and we are looking for the potential for severe weather in Arkansas today, Saturday and Sunday. And we do not have a weather impact alert. Normally we would issue this when one of these areas becomes enhanced. That's that next stage up. We're not there yet again, so we're just keeping an eye on things. It is manageable at this time. We're going to go into things in detail, but we are expecting scattered storms for your Easter weekend, and some of those could be a bit strong to severe, and heavy rain is expected in northwestern half of the state. Now, getting you ready for your day here, 77 in central Arkansas, a few 80s already popping up there on the map. We're looking at the windy conditions today. Again, looking for those gusts. It could be upwards of anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour. Currently, we've got sustained wind around 16, gusting around 25. But you see those gusts around 30, 31 there in Pine Bluff, northwest Arkansas, seeing that as well. So this will continue throughout the day. We'll start to see these kind of ease up a little bit as we're heading into sunset. But your hour-by-hour forecast, again, a whole lot of sunshine today, and so we're going to raise those temperatures up into the mid to upper 80s. And you can see the clouds begin to fill in. That southerly breeze dies down just a little bit. Your Saturday is going to be a mostly cloudy type of day. Now, I think most of that rain is going to stay out of our way, which is good news. So today, just dealing with that breezy and quite warm temperatures. But stay with me. Coming up forecast, we're going to talk about Easter weekend, and we're going to time things out day by day and let you know what to expect and if you need to make any plan B's for those outdoor plans.
Tracy, thank you. Well, we have an urgent traffic alert to pass along. I-440 eastbound has been shut down. The reason being an apparent overturned truck. Arkansas State Police sent this picture into our newsroom. This is the picture you see on your screen. There appears to be a black spill covering the roadway. Let's get you a live look at the iDrive map. RDOT is reporting this as a rollover accident. You can see it's affecting all eastbound lanes. We encourage you to avoid the area and be safe. Well, now to these new details. Two parents will serve time after leaving 4 children unattended in a hot car last year. Both Deja and Justin Rowlands have been sentenced to 70 years in prison. Those convictions stem from the deaths of 2 of those children. One was 3 years old and the other was 2. Both pled guilty to 2 counts of murder in the second degree. They also entered a guilty plea for 1 count of domestic battery in the first degree. Now, the domestic battery charge stems from a surviving 4-year-old child who was found to have been suffering from injuries consistent with ongoing abuse. Pulaski County Attorney Will Jones credits multiple departments for the success of their prosecution. We're following overnight developments on a shooting in Pine Bluff. These details just came into our newsroom this morning. According to Pine Bluff Police, they were tipped off just after 2:30 this morning after arriving to an apartment complex on 2600 West 30th Street. A man was found unresponsive. We learned he was identified as Asa Stewart. Emergency personnel found him shot with an apparent gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are actively working this as a homicide investigation. Here's what we're trying to learn. First, what led up to the man's death, and additionally, who may be responsible for the shooting. Our team will provide any new details once we receive them. Well, we turn now to our most viewed story on THV11.com. Arkansas Children's Hospital wants a do not resuscitate court order for a terminally ill child. It would go against the wishes of the child's parents. The hospital, however, says that child has been hospitalized since January of 2023. It would challenge state law, which prohibits DNR without parental consent. We bring you continued coverage as communities mourn the lives lost to senseless gun violence. We reported all week on the 2 killed and several others injured in that Conway Park shooting. On Thursday, a vigil was held to honor the deceased. The son of the pastor at Awareness Church witnessed the shooting, and it was his idea to encourage the Little Rock community to come together.
I pray to God that it brings healing from prayer, but I know this is going to take way more time than anything. Everybody, it's a lot of friends that I have that are mentally unstable and unsure because of that situation.
As for updates on the shooting, we have not received any since police publicly addressed their investigation on Tuesday. We will, however, follow this into the weekend. Well, there's a new update in local storm recovery. While most communities begin to get a grip on the aftermath, one couple in Little Rock still found themselves between a rock and a hard place. Get a look at this video. It shows flood aftermath from April 5th. Fish Creek had rose from 3 feet up to 21 feet. That left Gary and Beth Driscoll's backyard and basement underwater. Gary tells us they had little to no time to react to what they were witnessing.
We had probably maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to just grab pictures, boxes of mementos, keepsakes, any small appliances, books, whatever we could grab, and bring them upstairs in basically a frantic flurry.
And the couple is forced to replace several household appliances. Their homeowner's insurance doesn't apply to floods, and they don't have flood insurance, but that only covers so much.
People need to really respect that flooding is a very dangerous thing.
We have their full story on our website. There you'll also find a link to their GoFundMe if you'd like to offer help. Medical marijuana dispensaries will not be allowed to make deliveries. The concept struck down after House Bill 1889 failed to obtain the governor's right of passage. Cindy Moffitt is battling stage 4 mesothelioma, the medicine that often eases her pain in medical marijuana. She and lawmakers had hoped this bill would make it easier for her and other patients to get the medicine they need.
I'm isolated a lot because of my white blood count, which keeps me at home and away from people, because if you don't have a good white blood count, you don't have an immune system.
I'm confused as well because this doesn't increase the number of card holders, and it doesn't increase the amount a card holder can get.
Representative Aaron Pickleton says they can either wait till the next session and try again or try to override the veto. U.S. lawmakers are considering moving past a potential peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. There's been little progress made to do so. Natalie Brand has the new developments from Washington, D.C.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. could move on from efforts to reach a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia if progress isn't made in coming days.
We are now reaching a point where we need to decide and determine whether this is even possible or not.
Secretary Rubio made the comments leaving France, where he traveled for negotiations with European counterparts. Senator Chris Van Hollen returns from El Salvador today, where he traveled to try to secure the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The Maryland Democrat posted pictures of a meeting with Abrego Garcia, who's being held in a notorious prison in El Salvador after an administrative error led to his deportation there.
The White House called the lawmakers' visit, quote, disgusting, alleging Abrego Garcia is an MS-13 gang member. And while the courts have said that the administration must facilitate Abrego Garcia's return, the administration says it's up to El Salvador.
The Supreme Court says it will weigh in on President Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship.
I am so happy. I think the case has been so misunderstood.
The administration has asked the Supreme Court to limit the ability of lower courts to block the president's executive order.
Whether or not a district court judge can essentially make that decision for the entire country.
Arguments are scheduled for mid-May. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.